Hey guys, it's Randy with Low Buck LS here again, and in this episode I'm going to show you guys a different way of accessing the fuel tank and the fuel pump. If you've got a Chevy or a GMC, I guess, a Silverado or Sierra. A couple episodes back I put in a new fuel pump, and the way I did it at that point was to pull the fuel tank out and drop it onto the ground and pull the fuel pump out of the tank. But someone commented on that video and said, hey, why didn't you just tilt the box up? It's way easier. So I've got to go back into the fuel tank again with my new fuel pump. I installed the Walbro 525 Hellcat fuel pump, and it puts out so much fuel that I've gone from having the problem of too low of fuel pressure to too much fuel pressure. At idle, I've got like 90 pounds of fuel pressure or something. So I think there's either, I'm suspecting it's like a problem in the return line to the fuel tank. It's either got a restriction in it or it's too small, or it could be that the fuel pressure regulator is not big enough, and but the fuel pressure regulator worked fine with the stock fuel pump, but with this new fuel pump it's got way too much fuel pressure. So first thing I'm going to check, I'm going to tilt up the box of the truck so we can get at the fuel pump, and I'm probably going to pull the pump out. But I think first what I'm going to do is just hook up a hose to the return line coming from the fuel rail or the fuel pressure regulator, and just put a hose on it and run it into the filler neck of the tank and see if that improves my fuel pressure problem. So I also wanted to mention I set up a new Instagram for the Low Buck LS channel. If you guys wouldn't mind going and giving me a follow over there, it's just at Low Buck LS on Instagram. And I also started a new Facebook group, and I just started it this morning, and it's got 30 or 40 members already, and it's pretty cool to see you guys post your projects and stuff up. There's a lot of guys in there already posting their C10s and Fox bodies and trucks like mine, and other cool projects from guys that are doing the same as me, trying to get affordable horsepower out of these GM truck LS based engines. So go give me a follow over there. If you just search for Low Buck LS on Facebook, you should be able to find my group and my page. But I'll put a link down below the video too to both the Instagram account and the Facebook page and group. So if you want to go follow me over there and join in on the discussions and stuff, that'd be great. For now, we'll flip the camera around and get to showing you how to do this bed tilt method of accessing the fuel pump in your Chevy Silverado. Alright guys, so like I said, our mission for the day is to tilt up the bed side of the Low Buck truck here so we can get access to the fuel tank. So I'm going to hop under there and show you what bolts you need to take out to get the bed tilted. Alright, so we're going to start at the front of the box, driver's side. You can see there is the filler for the gas tank. So let's go under the truck and we'll look at, I think normally there's 4 bolts per side that you got to remove, but I think somebody's changed out the box on this truck before, so mine's missing some of them. But anyway, starting at the front here, driver's side, there's a ground strap there that you've got to undo. There's the first bolt that needs to be taken out. It's you need an 18 millimeter socket for that. There would normally be a bolt right there, I'm pretty sure, and we are right in front of the driver's side rear tire. Now we'll go further back. Got to get around my jack stands and stuff here. So those 2 bolts in the front were on the outside of the frame rail. Then towards the back, you can see there's the rear tire there. there would normally be a bolt right there, but it's broken off. And then there, right at the back, there's the back bumper here and my garage door. You can see there's like 2 inches between my back bumper and the garage door. Truck barely fits in the garage, but anyways, there is the rear one on the driver's side. And then there's a wiring block right there. We're gonna have to disconnect the 2 point with my light here. That one and that one have to get disconnected. And we'll move over to the passenger side rear. There's 1 bolt that needs to come out there. And because I'm just doing the bed tilt thing, I'm gonna leave a couple threads in so the box doesn't like slide off to the side. And same thing looking forward by the rear axle there. There would normally be a bolt there that you'd have to take out. We'll go back further under the truck here now again. And again, those 2 were on the inside of the frame rail. So now we're on the passenger side near the front of the bed. There's 1 there that would need to come out or get loosened off. And then up by the front of the bed on the passenger side. So like I said, we're gonna get the 2 on the passenger side. We're gonna loosen out most of the way and leave them in by a couple threads, and then the 2 on the driver's side we are gonna take right out. And like I said, normally if your truck is the way it came from the factory, it'll have 4 bolts per side, but we've only got 2, so we'll take those bolts out now. Alright, so we're back under the truck, at the rear of the truck, and like I said, on the passenger side, I've got the bolt backed out, and it's just in there by a couple threads, and that'll keep the bed from sliding off the frame rail. Here's that wiring block. Go at it from a different angle here. I had to disconnect. Wasn't the 2 I showed you originally. It's kind of the front and the back one that need to get disconnected there. And they get, you just got to press this little tab in here and they get released from that block there. So these 2 actually are attached to the box so they can stay in there. It's this front one. Basically this gray one was on here, so just press that tab and pulled it out. And then this blue one was on the one closer to the front. So those are disconnected. And then on the driver's side, I've got all the bolts that were in there are now out. So now we should be able to lift up on the driver's side of the bed here and gain access to that fuel tank. Alright, so now that we got those bolts out that hold the driver's side of the truck bed to the frame, we're going to take out, there's these 3, I think they're 8mm bolts around the filler neck, and then we got to undo that ground strap that we looked at earlier in the video that attaches from the filler neck to the frame. And then I've got my high lift jack. Got a bunch of garbage in the back of the truck, but got my high lift jack ready to lift up the box side here. And then obviously once we get it lifted up enough to get access to the fuel tank, we'll have to put some blocks or something in between the truck bed and the truck frame, somewhere in there, to make it safe to work on under there. So we'll do that now. Alright, so we got those little screws out of there for the filler neck. I think they were actually a 7mm little screw. And we've got that ground strap disconnected. So now we've got the jack set up here to lift up the side of the truck bed. I'll set up the camera here on a tripod and we will start jacking that up. Alright, like I said, I think we've got everything disconnected here, so I'm going to start jacking this up. Alright, so there you can see, garage is too small, I can't zoom out back enough to show the whole truck, but there you can see the bed of the truck on this side has been lifted up about a good foot to 16 inches, so now there's enough room that, like I said, I'm going to put some blocks or something to make it safe between the frame rail there and the bottom of the truck bed. But now you can see there I have good access to the top of the fuel tank and the fuel pump. And if we look in there, you can see there's the filler neck that has been disconnected from the bedside. There's that ground strap hanging down. And now we can go ahead and do our troubleshooting for figuring out our fuel pressure issue and seeing if our return line is blocked or restricted or something like that. So, but like I said, we're gonna do something to make this safe to work on. But that's basically how you go about it anyways. Alright guys, we're going to wrap this one up, but that is how you access the fuel pump on your Chevy Silverado by using the bed tilt method. So we're going to have another video out coming up soon where we do the actual troubleshooting of figuring out our high fuel pressure issue. But first, I wanted to say thanks to everybody. Like I mentioned, I set up a Facebook group earlier today, and it has got 45 members already. So just wanted to say thanks to everybody who has joined the Facebook group. And I was kind of worried when I opened up a Facebook group that there'd be crickets and no action, but yeah, 45 guys have joined, and there's lots of guys posting pictures of their projects and sharing details of their projects. So if that interests you, look me up on Facebook, Lowbuck LS, or I'll put a link in the description below. And like I said, gonna do my best to put out a video every Tuesday, and we'll also be putting like technical articles and stuff on the website every probably Friday or Saturday. So videos on Tuesday and technical articles towards the end of the week, Fridays or Saturdays. So that's all for this one. We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye for now.